As people return to the office, how are employers and building owners innovating to make that a worthwhile and safe experience? What workplace changes are your clients considering to optimize their employees' experience?
They're really rethinking the purpose of the office and why they have a workplace at all. And the common goal is they're putting the employee at the center of that. We did a workplace survey during the pandemic where we heard from employees that they felt highly productive working from home and also very connected to their teams. So those are not the reasons we're coming into the office anymore. Now executives are suggesting that what they really are looking for is to build community, to build culture, and to enhance collaboration.
What are the keys to finding the right workplace balance so employees can be effective and efficient and productive?
We're seeing that the right balance is going to be different for every organization and their employees, and we expect that to continue shifting over time. So in June 2020, we surveyed our office tenants across Canada, and 46% of them came back saying that they would look to decrease the amount of office space that they held compared to pre-pandemic. And we've done the survey 3 times since, and every time that number has come down. And in Q3 2021, which is the last survey, that number is now 26% of office tenants who are looking to decrease their space compared to pre-pandemic. One of the things we've heard a lot about is this great loss of culture through work from home. And over the short term, that was true, but the pandemic has been going on long enough that the culture has evolved, whether that has been guided intentionally or not. And culture is made up of the interactions that we have and the interactions that we don't have. It's really an opportunity for a cultural shift and setting new norms and new etiquette, but also considering some of these bigger decisions that we're making now in the context of how they set the tone for the future organizational culture.
Dan, would you say most of your tenants are moving to a middle ground hybrid system, or does it depend on the company and it's case by case?
There's definitely not a one-size-fits-all scenario. I think as we look at coming back to the office and return to office for many organizations, it's going to be a unique situation. There's opportunities for companies to reassess the purpose of the office, trying to bring people back into the office and really have a meaningful purpose that's no longer supervisory. We no longer want you here just so we can look over your shoulder. We want you here so we can build relationships and trust and increase productivities.
2 key things, though, happened during the pandemic. And that first is that technology became equally distributed and accessible to virtually every employee. The second thing is the misnomer that leaders had that if you're not at the office, how do I know you're working? And I think that was well debunked during the pandemic. And so with those 2 things taken care of, the movement to hybrid work has really accelerated.
So is it safe to say that office spaces continue to evolve? And if so, what does your experience tell you about the future?
We heard from companies in our tenant surveys that they're looking to take on additional flexible space on top of their fixed long-term leases. And the average was 7% of their total square footage space would be made up of this additional flex space. The other piece of this is that added flexibility brings more choices. And so how can technology be an enabler in helping people make those decisions or making those decisions easier? And so we see this as creating a seamless experience for people that starts from when they are leaving their homes and looking to check on their commute and the best way to get into the office, all the way up until they are on their way home and helping them get ahead on whatever's on for dinner that night.
So more office space is coming on the market. For companies, does that mean more office space opportunities?
Now, as we've moved through the pandemic and through the last couple of years, yes, vacancy rates have increased. They're now between 6 and 8% in some of our major markets, but that's still extremely tight and still a landlord-friendly market. We're seeing large tech occupiers like Microsoft, Facebook, Meta, taking down big blocks of space. So it's really exciting that that's still happening. We're definitely seeing a flight to quality where tenants are moving from B-class buildings to A-class buildings and from A-class buildings to AAA buildings. It's a unique opportunity as there is a bit more vacancies for occupiers to reassess where they want to be, what space matches their brand, and how they're going to move forward coming out of this pandemic and really finding a great fit for their organization.